Hello everybody. It has been a while since we've just had a chat about the royals and the like, so that is what we are going to be doing today. But first, let us get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Luckily, or at this point I guess luckily, my channel is not being monetized and therefore I can call a spade a spade. So let's quickly talk about the coronavirus. Most of you who have been on my channel before will know that I'm South African, and therefore I will give you a quick update on what's happening here. I think in a way, although the coronavirus, wherever it happens and wherever it pops up its ugly head, is bad news, I think we as South Africans have to date been very lucky. To date we've only had 3,158 infections according to our latest update, and only 54 confirmed deaths. I must however say that these figures are most likely inaccurate, and not because the truth is being hidden from us, but because of our bad communication systems when it comes to government departments. Also because we have huge rural areas where many infections and deaths could have perhaps happened without being reported, or without family members even realizing that it could have been due to the coronavirus. So I do believe that these figures are very inaccurate, but nonetheless, compared to places like Britain, Germany, Spain, Italy, United States, we are obviously very lucky, and the infection has not spread as rampantly here as it has in Europe and the United States. I think it is mostly due to the fact that we are having a late winter. Today and yesterday were still 37 degrees Celsius, which is rather warm, and I believe that the coronavirus does not do well in heat. So I think that is the one reason. The other reason is that I think that Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, our president, for once in his lifetime did the right thing and announced the lockdown in time. He also very quickly stopped flights, and I am very grateful for that. A lot of people have criticized him for doing that because of our weak economy, and we are tasting the result of that, because in my own family and in my own home we have not been working for more than a month, and things are becoming very scary, and not because of the coronavirus but because of supplies and money. But yes, there are often choices to be made. It's either I have a smoke today, or I have a drink today, or I eat a chocolate today, or I have 3 meals today, or I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I only have 1 meal a day, but at least I'm still alive. So yes, I do think that a huge part of the reason why coronavirus hasn't as yet spread like wildfire in South Africa is largely because of the fact that Mr. Ramaphosa has announced lockdown so early in the game. Anyway, that is that, and as I said, we would just like to have a quick chat, and as you know, I normally like to chat about the royals. Reason for that is, for me, it is an escape from my reality. Okay, so on to the royals. I haven't spoken about them in a while, so quite a bit has happened since I have last spoken about them. We have had excuse me, William and Kate's video call to key workers' children, and what fun that was. I actually watched the video and it was good for a laugh, and I commend them for doing this. Kate seems to really be the children's queen. She has such a rapport with children. And William, although, and that's something I would wish to mention, and particularly with the clip to follow, although one can see that William is a bit more precise, a bit more reserved because of the role he has to play, he can also and can still be just himself, just old Wills. And I think he appears to be more open and more friendly than he was as a youngster. So it is quite obvious to me, at least, that he is relaxing into the role that he intends to play in the future, or the role that is ready and waiting for him. And he seems to have grown into it, to become more, he became more confident and more relaxed and accepting of his role. Nonetheless, it has been made clear in various reports, and if you're on Instagram and you read their daily posts, it's become clear that both William and Catherine have been very, very involved in the process, working with the Royal Foundation, as they've also issued a statement as to where funds from the Royal Foundation will be going, and it will mostly be going to frontline workers during this pandemic and related causes, obviously. We also saw William opening the NHS Nightingale Hospital in Birmingham via an internet link, Zoom as they call it. And something which is very significant of this photograph that I have on the screen here is the respect that the general public is already paying William. There are obviously a few military personnel in the audience watching his address, but they're also civilians, and one can actually see that they are already treating William as the future king. Since I've last spoken to you, we've also had the Queen's wonderfully inspiring speech, and here I must say that even as a South African, I found his speech very, very inspiring. We haven't had these kind of speeches from anyone in our government, and neither have we had it from the Zulu King, for instance. But we've basically just had announcements, and we haven't really had these inspiring speeches or people just talking and telling you that everything will be okay. And here comes this 94-year-old woman, and she tells us that we will meet again. How positive is that? I mean, this tells me personally, that if she can feel that way, why can't I? If she is that positive, why can't I be? And obviously, in days that I do feel down and depressed and isolated, I think of this speech by Her Majesty the Queen, and I pull myself together and I think, well, if she can do it, I can do it. I also loved the billboards going up at Piccadilly Square, where they took quotes from his speech and posted it. Stunning, beautiful, and although there weren't too many people around to see the billboards, at least we saw photographs of it. Going on to my favorite part of the Queen's involvement was this photograph of the Queen allegedly being on the phone to Boris Johnson while he was in hospital. I think this is just a stunning photograph. It shows the Queen being nothing more than just human. Talking on her old-fashioned phone, obviously in a private room with all her little ornaments, including her corgi ornaments around. How beautiful. It actually shows you that after all is said and done, she is just human. And then we move on to Sarah and Andrew. We saw the photographs of them taken by Sarah's PA and posted on their Instagram, where Sarah and Andrew were busy packing care packages. I also saw photographs of them actually physically delivering it to a hospice. Now, I know there are still a lot of people very angry at Andrew, and I must say I myself find the things that he had been involved in very distasteful and rather gross. However, it is good to see that even Andrew has now buckled down and allowed himself to be photographed putting these care packages together. And I'll tell you why. Because again, it's a matter of if he can do it, we can do it. And then I just want to stop a little with Sarah. This is not the first time we've actually seen Sarah being involved in these efforts to help. We've also read and seen Sarah delivering care parcels to other institutions, being driven by Beatrice's fiance, Eduardo Mozzi. And I do believe, and I've heard, that both Beatrice, Eugenie and Sarah have been doing this from day one and are still doing this and will continue to do this. And that is where I would like to say that I personally think that Sarah is one of the most underrated pseudo-royals, if you want to call it that. But what I take from Sarah is that she had always tried her best. She had always done what she wanted to and had to, and that she has a very good heart, regardless of the fact that she sometimes acts like a bull in a china shop. She tends to jump in and just steamroller her way through whatever she's doing, and obviously often she does not get good press for this kind of attitude. But I've always found her someone with a good heart, her heart being in the right place. She's obviously a very, very loyal person, and for that I commend her. And then we had Charles opening an NHS hospital via video conference, and we had this absolutely beautiful photograph of Charles and Camilla on their 15th wedding anniversary. Now, next to the Queen's photograph of her making a phone call to Boris in her private study, this must be my second favorite photograph. It is so casual, so friendly, so natural, and once again just showing us that they're human just like the rest of us. And I absolutely love this photograph, and whoever took it, kudos to you. Unfortunately, like in my own country, my own town, and my own family, the good will also be counteracted or offset by the not so good. And hence we need to talk about Harry and Meghan, And like I said, I haven't spoken about them in weeks, so there's quite a bit to talk about. During these trying times, Harry and Meghan thought that it was good, relevant, to announce the new charitable foundation called Archewell, or as it should be called, Arkwell, or should be pronounced. Nevertheless, they found it a good time to announce this, and once again, without any forethought or planning, they jumped right into it and announced the name of the new foundation. They obviously have not done any homework, as with very little effort I found numerous institutions, businesses, you name it, with similar or the same name. For instance, in Alberta in the United States, there is the Alberta Research Center for Health Evidence called Archie, located within the Department of Pediatrics at the university. Then there is also the ARC or Arch Health and Wellness, Inner City Health and Wellness, component of the Royal Alexandra Hospital. Then there is the Archewell, let me just get this here, the Arch Health Limited, Arch Health Foundation, a antenatal clinic in Armadale. Okay, there is the Arc Wellness Foundation in Germany, which is a nature retreat health center, and it's also called Landhaus de Arc in Zislow, Germany, and so on and so on. And then there's the Archway Shoes, etc., etc. Nevertheless, it was so easy to find. You type in ARCHEWELL, or you just type in ARCHE and you Google it, and you will get an endless list of companies, businesses, places who have something to do with health and wellness by the name of Archie or Arc. So they obviously did not do their homework. Where they also made a huge mistake is by not buying their domain names or setting up their Instagram accounts before announcing their names. And as many YouTubers have told you, others have gone and actually bought their domain names, and when you actually click on the link, it would take you to something like Kanye West's Gold Digger and other similar songs. They also missed out on the Archewell Instagram handle, so what they're going to be doing about this, nobody knows. But they missed out, and obviously once again, without forethought, just jumped in and announced the name. Yeah, and then there was also the newspaper report that an estate agent claimed that she had sold Mel Gibson's house to Harry and Meghan. Now, a lot of people say this is impossible, can't be, they don't have the money. I don't think it's impossible, because obviously Daddy will be paying, as they do need to live somewhere. They do need to settle sometime. So I don't know whether this is perhaps part of the financial settlement coming from Charles. Who knows? I'm sure we'll soon find out. I just find it very weird that this particular estate agent had the gall to put this on her Instagram. So I am rather inclined to think that there may be some truth in it. They may not be living in the house as yet, because the sale may not have gone through, the registration, etc., but it's not impossible. And then there was the other, another newspaper report saying that Prince Harry drops royal surname in documents registering the new eco-friendly tourism firm Travelist. And then it goes on to say that he signed the document Prince Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex. Now, I say that was a very misleading newspaper heading, as clearly he did not drop anything, in particularly not his title being Prince and not his title of Duke of Sussex. The fact that he didn't call himself Mountbatten Windsor is neither here nor there, as he had never called himself Mountbatten Windsor. As a matter of fact, in the army he was known as Harry Windsor, and that's that. So obviously Harry no longer wishes to be just a normal human being, normal person by the name of Harry Windsor, but he instead loves being Prince Harry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex, and that is what he will stick with, whether we like it or not. Thank you very much. And then of course the big news of them being spotted in LA delivering food parcels to the sick and taking their doggies for a walk. A lot of people say it wasn't them, others say it was them. I honestly feel like Piers Morgan. I don't give a hoot. They are irrelevant, and where they live and whether they deliver food parcels or not, for me, is neither here nor there. Personally, I don't think on that particular photograph, the clip I'm showing in my own video, that is Harry. It doesn't look like Harry. It looks like somebody a couple of years younger than Harry if I look at the body language. It also looks as if the guy's ears do a bit of a turn, tip towards the front. Yeah, it just overall doesn't really look like Harry to me. But honestly, I feel that this couple is becoming irrelevant, and because of all their lying in the past, it's very difficult to believe anything. And that is where, although I don't believe that this is Harry, I actually don't care enough to enlarge the photographs to do overlays anymore, because they have lied to us so much in the past. And the biggest lie obviously being Meghan's pregnancy, and hence whatever they do or say in the future will be taken with a pinch of salt. If we see them with a mask on, it won't be because of them adhering to health precautions, it'll be because they're hiding their faces. And that kind of attitude towards them was actually caused by them, and I firmly believe that there's hardly a thing they can do at this point which will change our minds about them. Whether they deliver another 1,000 meals, it's not going to make a difference. This particular meal drop, I believe, was a pap walk. Nothing more, nothing less. And in the process of this pap walk, they happened to deliver 20 meals. That is my personal belief. And I think this kind of attitude will continue until the day the two of them actually formally split up. Only then will Meghan be able to fully return to maybe what she was before, a D-list actress. She'll be able to play bit parts in movies again or make her own documentaries. Harry may be able, after a few years, be able to redeem himself and once again become the good guy that he used to be. But together they are toxic, and for as long as they're together, irking each other on, poking each other to lie, coming up with all these stories and pap walks and shenanigans they've been up to, nobody will believe that there's anything good in them, no matter what they do. And of course, another lie we heard about over the past 2 weeks was about the £90,000 dollars that they donated to the coronavirus cause. And of course, we know that that was another lie. That 90,000 came from the BBC. It was profits made from the from selling the footage of the royal wedding. So yeah, money wasn't theirs. It was the public's money in the first place, because by other television stations buying the rights to show their wedding, they paid it with fees being paid by the general public, television license fees. So basically, if it's all added up, it's again our money that went into television license fees that gave our television stations the money to buy the rights to broadcast Meghan and Harry's wedding. And it was those profits that was pledged to the coronavirus effort, and not money from Harry and Meghan's pocket. So once again, yet another lie, and hence I'm back to my original theory, where I'm saying that nothing they do from now on forward till the day they split up and become two separate individuals will we ever believe anything about them ever again. And that is my story for today. I think I have done the good thing by being positive and bringing you the negative, and obviously my opinion on these two toxic ex-royals. And I'm going to leave it there and say goodbye. Take care of yourselves. Bye.